The yak from the Himalayas, the horse from the Maine of the horse in China, the goat from the Angora goat in Turkey, and the human from peasant girls from all over Northern Europe and Asia. So once you determine the type of hair, which is ultimately your choice, again, all expensive, all inexpensive, then I'm going to take that, I'm going to shave your heads bald. You just let me know which one of you wants to go first. I'm going to add the... How old are you?
5.
Well, I usually don't start with ladies until the age of 10, but if father says it's all right, we can go ahead and shave your head. It's the measurements of your bald head, have your custom blockhead carved to your exact shape and size. And get that back, fills on the mesh cap, forms the base of the undercarriage. This is what is ultimately holding your wig in place. Then the hair is woven on trussing frames to create each row stitched one at a time on the mesh to create the layers to the wig. So it could be as few as 10 rows or as many as 80 to 100. The lighter the color, the more expensive the hair involved, the more expensive the wig. So the ultimate question is simply, what are you willing to spend to look good? Dark wigs in the back, for instance, would be everyday fashions at an average cost of £2, 3 shillings. For me, that's an entire month of my wages. Same amount of money buys you a half an acre of land on the outskirts of town or a team of oxen. Are added to the back of the head to augment the styles, and then on the window seat, the side curls, knots, braids, buns for the ladies, and then more hairdressers, so we can add those attachments and then give you the illusion of length without the expense of the full wig. We're also barbers, so shaving basins like this one held under the gentleman's chin so we can lather up the face and take the fringe off.
So we get it as well. We're not soliciting any domestic hair. You see how you girls walk about exposing your hair? That damages it. I can't use it. So what do I shave you girls for? Your lad's got your hair sheared short. Well, did you get your hair cropped like that for wig preparation? Because otherwise, short cropped hair is not fashionable for neither male nor female. If you can't grow it long, by God, you best buy it.
So I'm putting beeswax onto this cherry tabletop. It's going to go onto this table behind us, and this is a piece that is being made for some donors. But we don't normally do really high style furniture. We're more building things like doors and window sash. So most of our time our finish is paint as opposed to waxes and varnishes. Reeded. So I think when you look at this style, this is what the cabinet makers would define more in kind of the plain and neat style. And that's really what most joiners furniture is. If you're building a kitchen table. And then it's a matter of trying to get off as much of that wax as we can, because we're just trying to really seal that surface and kind of fill up the grain, and then we'll come back and we'll scrape as much of that away as we can.
And then what?
And then the shellac will go over the top of that. In this case, I think we're going to be using seed lac, which is akin to shellac, just not quite as refined. It all comes from a beetle in Southeast Asia. It's just depending on the level of refinement.
Now you'll see the larger lobes in the next row. It actually takes about 8 spinning wheels like this to make the amount of yarn that they need to keep those looms dry.
Do you ever get like string burn?
So it makes your hand softer. I think I've always noticed is one of my legs always gets tired, so I have to switch out my legs every once in a while.
It doesn't look like you ever get it like a backlash, like a fishing reel. Like, have you ever, you know what I'm saying?
So the next step, and we're doing a whole lot more dyeing than we've ever done before. So now we're doing more and more and on a bigger scale. We did 90 skeins of yarn for this. Half of it was yellow and something called bustic, a tropical plant down in South America they're using. It comes in by the shiploads. The blue is indigo, and we dyed up another 45 skeins. So to make sure that we're not getting these weird stripes in the control of the weaving, but it's also the consistency of the dyeing. So we learned a lot along the way, and that's one of the things we live by is that practice makes progress.
Amen.
So perfect's a great goal, but tough to get to every day. So making a bunch of fabric for gowns, it's yellow in one direction, blue in the other, so it reads like a soft green. If we darkened up the blue, it'd be a darker green. But when you make it into something, you get all three. It kind of shimmers.
Different types of roots and seeds and barks usually. What else we can actually So those beetles are sent from Mexico to Spain, Spain to England, and then England to here. So by the time they get here, they're very expensive.
All taxed along the way.
So, same with actually indigo. Indigo's sent from the Carolinas to England, and then back here. So while there is a little bit of black market smuggling going on with indigo, most of the time it's not.
The styles and qualities that we produce here. These are all the more typical men's shoes for the period, and very much what was available in the city during the 1760s and 1770s, not just from one little shop like this, but from 7 to 14 shoe shops, though about a third of those shops actually make women's shoes. Now, in addition to local shoemakers, you also have merchants who import shoes from England. So there's a lot of choices for the consumer. You can buy locally made shoes in any size and any style. You can go to a merchant and buy cheaper imported shoes, something that's specialized to your job. If you ride a lot, you probably have riding boots. But if you ride a lot, you're probably pretty wealthy and own a number of horses. Your average individual is not going to own a pair of riding boots.
Our is about 3,000 degrees. And once you get it that hot, it actually becomes very much like clay. So if you think about sculpting, it's a similar sort of thought process to what we go to.
You want to make the layers straight or flat above it, and you can use heat and pressure to do that. So you can level more in water, cut it down a little bit hollow sections, and open it up flat, and press it, and then you can split it down. It's very flexible and thin, and translucent if it's got the right qualities.
Right. So would they have used mica for it?
It's possible. I haven't seen a whole lot of merchants.
No, out of two. So the dirt is basically kind of like that, but with instead of a solid bottom, it has screen. Oh.
This is the one of the ones with the crank at all.
No, it has a little.
That's intriguing. I don't even know what
where the type is stored. And this is also the origin of the terms uppercase and lowercase letters. Capital letters were kept in the uppercase, the small letters in the lower. That's something that most teachers don't know. And distribution of the letters is dependent on frequency of use. So you memorize where the letters are kept and you pick them out of the cases, and you orient them by feel. A little nick on the body allows you to tell which end the letter's on and whether it's right side up or upside down. So all I'm doing now is applying a thin layer of ink to the type. And this you have to do for every copy that you print. So to make things as proficient as possible, normally you run a press like this with two people. I would have been called a beater doing that job, and then you have the puller who's going to be running the press. So all I'm doing here is rotating the screw, and as it turns, it presses the platen, which is a large block of wood, down onto the type, forcing the paper onto it.
Oh, how cool.
And that's the second and third page of a newspaper. We've previously printed the first and last page, so.
And you don't have to worry about it going through the paper.
No.